We finished off yesterday with a drain tile piping installed, but there's a second segment to it, which is a drain rock, which was installed after we left. Let's go have a look at that. Have a look down in the pit. You'll notice that there's drain rock sprayed all throughout. The type of rock is called 3/4 crushed, and note how it covers the entire drain tile piping that's on the bottom of the footing. So the reason why we have this bed of drain rock is to cover the pipes completely, to kind of allow like almost like a filtration around the pipes. You know, so rather than having mud against the drain tile pipes, you have a nice bed of rocks that filter any kind of debris that can enter the pipes. Now, if you notice also, there's certain areas of the pipe that have been not covered, and the words perforated are exposed. A perfect example of that is along the side. You'll see several segments of it exposed. One there, one there. This is basically to allow the inspector to see the pipe installed is in fact perforated pipe, so that he knows that it was done properly. And check out these black and blue pipes here. We mentioned yesterday that the plumber would come by and install two pipes. One is this water supply pipe, which feeds the house. This one feeds the house. This one wraps around the main house to the back to feed the laneway house. The plumber installed that pipe through a sleeve, you know, basically just for a bit of more protection so this pipe doesn't get damaged. And another pipe he installed is a drainage pipe. This takes away the plumbing waste and is connected straight to the city. Note the sloping nut. Fortunately for this house, we don't have a pump system installed. That's why this pipe can sit where it is. It sits below the foundation, so anything above will drain naturally to collect into that pipe and be discharged to the city. Let's have a look at the back side. Note again, another segment of pipe that's been exposed here, just to show the inspector the words perforated. And going back to the pipe, the plumbing pipe, this is the coil that's left behind. So when the sides of the foundation are backfilled, the pipe's still in the bottom here, and we can actually extend it to where we need it once the excavation for the laneway house takes place, which will be behind the foundation. So we're just about to conclude the foundation segment of this build. And today we're going to expect 3 inspections to take place prior to allowing us to backfill this project. The first inspection is the municipal inspection, whereby the plumbing inspector comes by to inspect the drain tile, the drain rock, the dam proofing, the waterproofing, and whether or not the slope has been applied to all the piping. The second inspection is from the warranty group, where they'll come and do basically the same thing, inspecting everything that's below ground, making sure everything's installed properly, and they'll be documenting this towards the warranty program that's applied to the house. The third inspection, because this is a Part 5 build in Vancouver, involves a building envelope engineer. And he does the exact same thing, making sure that everything is installed properly and that he can record it for his reporting purposes. So we're just about ready for backfill, and this is the most exciting time. But it's also a time you gotta really be careful about how you time the backfill. So we gotta remember, this foundation was recently poured as of the last couple of days, and is still trying to cure to its maximum strength. By backfilling so quickly, you will be introducing lateral forces to the face of this foundation, pushing the foundation inwards. Now, don't forget, this could crack. And once that cracks, you might as well pick this thing up and start all over again. Let's have a look at the sides. This segment of the foundation is only about 6 feet of backfill. It's not too much dirt. I mean, you can slowly backfill it, but it still introduces this amount of dirt pushing towards the side of the wall. The west side wall, however, is a little different, requiring much more dirt to go in. Can you imagine how much pressure would apply to this foundation wall if you filled it right to the top all at once? Now, this wall, it's a better look from this angle to actually see the sheer amount of backfill required to fill this area up. If you were to dump the backfill all at once, this wall could have a tendency of leaning this way or possibly cracking at some point in the middle. And you don't want either one of those situations to happen. We'll delay the backfill for a bit, wait for the concrete to cure to a better compressive strength, and then we'll start layering the dirt up. So in addition to allowing the concrete to cure a little bit longer prior to backfill, another measure we could take is to simply install the beams in place at the tops of the foundation wall to actually provide a brace, a lateral brace from the inside, thereby offsetting any kind of backfill pressures which will push the walls inward. Then you now have a chance to push back to those pressures and allowing a safe backfill to happen. So we'll make that happen next week. We'll have the beams delivered and slowly put in place, giving the concrete the adequate time to cure a bit more. And from there, we can slowly begin the backfill process.